So folks, has Outlander been axed after season 4? A lot of Outlander fans have been left in a severe panic after there were rumors that Diana was going to kill off two of the main characters, Jamie and Claire. Now, is it even thinkable that they can kill off Jamie in this series? Well folks, I've just climbed down from Arthur's Seat, which is the old volcano situated in the centre of Edinburgh here. And I'm actually heading down to Duddingston village. Well, it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon now and it's getting dark. It's really cold and windy and it seems like there's snow in the clouds. Really cold. My hands are frozen. Now the whole reason for coming to Duddingston village is because Sam Heughan actually used to come to a pub here when he used to climb Arthur's Seat. Now the pub's called the Sheep's Head, or in English the Sheep's Head, and this is a very famous pub. In fact, this is Scotland's oldest pub. Now this pub dates back from 1360 or thereabouts. Now it is thought that this pub got its name from a snuff box that King James presented to the landlord of this pub. So what else is so special about this pub? Well, this pub has got the oldest Skittles alley in Scotland. Now, one thing you may not know is that Skittles was actually invented here in Scotland, along with golf and curling. Now, many centuries ago, Duddingston was actually its own little village. But since then, Edinburgh has grown so large that it's completely swamped many of the villages in the area and now completely surround many of these quaint little villages. Now, back in the day, two of the favourite dishes of this pub was sheep's head broth and singed sheep head. Now, this pub also comes with its own resident ghost. There's a little girl that has been seen many times in the Skittles alley, and I can tell you, I've been in there by myself playing Skittles, and the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. You know that somebody's just entered the room. Scary stuff. Now, if you think that's very strange, even stranger still is the story of Maggie Dixon. Now, a very long time ago, Maggie Dixon was actually found guilty of having an affair, and she was subsequently hanged in the grass market in Edinburgh. Now, they were going to bury her in a village called Tranent. So they took her body from the gallows by horse cart, and on their way to Tranent, they actually stopped off in the village of Duddingston and stopped outside the Sheep's Head pub for a drink. Now, it's while they were having a drink that Maggie Dixon decided to come back to life again, and she was banging on her coffin, and when the coffin was opened, they discovered that she was still alive. They took her back to Edinburgh, and because she was already found guilty and they already hanged her, they couldn't try her again, and they certainly weren't going to try and kill her again. Now, if you think that's the only strange story from Duddingston village, I can tell you many more ghost stories. These stories are all true and have been verified. Now I'm going to head back to the main church here in Duddingston village. I just want to show you a feature there quickly. Now this tower you see behind me in Duddingston Kirk was built for a very specific reason. Now, if you come back at the end of this video, I'll tell you exactly what was going on here. So what makes me think they want to kill off Jamie out of the series? Well, a clue came in series 1, episode 1. It's the ghost at the fountain. Now, we're told it's a ghost because Diana herself has said that this is the ghost of Jamie. Now, what's strange about this whole event is that Frank ended up seeing Jamie and almost bumped into him. Now, if this was a ghost outside and everybody could see him, this is a very strange event. So if Jamie was a ghost, what does that mean? Does that mean he was dead? Did he die and was able to travel back in time? It seems very strange to me that a ghost can actually travel back through the stones or through any other means to the future. Yet Diana herself has also said that Jamie does not travel to the future, so this is all very confusing. Now you have to remember, this is Diana's work, and she can do and create whatever she wants to. Perhaps when she first created Jamie and thought up of the ghost, she wasn't thinking what could possibly happen 10 books down the line. Now, is time travel in this book a unique event? We already know that Galis and Claire can time travel, but perhaps one thing that you don't know, that there has been other people within this series that has time traveled. Now you're going to have to read some of Diana's short stories linked to Outlander to find out what was going on here. So yes, it is possibly feasible that Jamie could time travel, but for his ghost to time travel, now that's a different thing. Now there has been a lot of heated arguments online regarding this exact fact, whether the ghost in fact time traveled, or whether Jamie astral projected himself, or whether he died while in a battle and then came alive again. Well, we're not actually going to know until the 10th book has been written, and Diana has said she's going to reveal all in this final book. Now let us just assume that this is Jamie's ghost. Why was he going back to the future or the past? It depends on which way you want to look at this, because in 1945 Claire would not have known him when she came through the stones originally. So why did he choose that exact time and place to go back to? Is it perhaps that Claire has also died and Jamie's ghost is now trying to reconnect with Claire? We just don't know. I can guarantee you this vlog I've just made is going to cause a lot of arguments in the Outlander community. Everybody's trying to find the answer to this. So now we don't actually know if Diana is going to kill him off in the 10th book, or if she's just going to find another way of transporting Jamie's ghost to 1945. Now I apologize about the light, it's getting really dark now and I'm stuck in the middle of a graveyard here. There is another factor in this. Is season 5 going to be renewed? Now I know they're in negotiations now. Now you have to remember, many of these series that are on either Amazon or Netflix, they don't tend to go the full series. Now I can see a lot of you Outlander fans are busy screaming at me from your computers or phones. Well, I'm afraid it's just a fact that you have to remember that the audience that Amazon has is completely different to that of what the book has. Now if this was a Netflix production, I would have had a bit more faith in it. Netflix has a much larger audience and a lot more money to throw at these projects. A final thought on this before the light completely goes is that you have to remember that Sam Heughan is now becoming pretty famous and his salary is going up. Now at his age, does he really want to be stuck in Outlander for another 6 years at least? Now while he signed up to Outlander, there's no way he could take part in a big budget movie. Now I don't know whether his contract would even allow that. Now some gossip that has come out is in fact that Sam Heughan has been put forward for the James Bond character. Now if a role like this came along, do you think he would take something like that, or would he continue with Outlander? Now several things that you have to consider here. Even although Sam Heughan is a heartthrob at the moment, would he be able to carry this through for the next 6 years and then get a major movie role after that? Netflix and Amazon are dominating the movie scene. If Hollywood comes calling, do you think it would be wise of Sam to turn down a major role? I personally think he would be crazy to turn down a major role, because he's going to end up getting typecast in the Outlander mold, and by the time Outlander finally finishes, he may just be too old. Now if you all think that I'm wrong, please leave comments below. Now please don't give me abuse. I've suffered enough of that on the Facebook forums. I think I've been kicked off every Outlander Facebook forum there is. They just don't seem to like the way I present these videos. Now folks, there's a lot more I wanted to show you in Duddingston Village. Unfortunately, it's got so dark now and it's only 4 o'clock. I'm going to have to leave that for another time. But yes, Duddingston Village has got a very interesting history. It has connections to Bonnie Prince Charlie during the Jacobite Wars. But yes, I'll show you that another time. Now many of you will know the story of Burke and Hare. Now these were 2 famous grave robbers. Back in those days they used to steal the bodies and give them to the doctors. They used to perform operations and experiments on these bodies to see how the body actually worked. Now this was highly illegal, but it didn't stop the trade in these bodies. So many of the graveyards were forced to build these towers to prevent the grave robbers from coming in and stealing these bodies. Now there's a very famous story linked to Duddingston Church. A couple of grave robbers came and dug up a grave. Now they heard banging on the coffin, and when they broke open the coffin, there was a woman inside it, still alive. Now they were shocked. Now this woman had no recollection of what happened to her or who she was. Now several years later, this woman actually emigrated to America and got married and had children. Now it just shows you there were some strange things happening in Duddingston village.